here at Winton Motor Raceway. We're preparing for the Pirelli Porsche Cup. Good looking field here today. We'll take a look at the grid for you. I don't think who's on the front's going to worry you too much. Martin Wagg has got pole with a 1:29.01, clear of Peter Bradbury with a 1:29.05. Greg King starts out of 3. Simon Frood from 4. Chris Stannard from 5. Matthew Stupas starts out of 6. 7 is Peter McRae. 8 Peter Bolton. 9 is Mike Kilpatrick. And rounding out the 10 was Robert Porter. But as you can see by the times, we're in for a very competitive race here today at Winton.
Yeah, these guys like Winton, Mike. They get up here and do a lot of practice. And away.
Look at that for a start. Terrific start from Bradbury. I think Wagg thought he might have won the start and got to the first corner. But that man Bradbury, Peter Bradbury in the TNT machine, goes down through turn number 2.
He's away.
Yes, he's away. Greg Keane up there smartly indeed. And
little trouble with number 13.
That's Peter Bolton. He's gone around sideways in the truss bank.
Yeah, just lost it. Lateral forces got the worst of him. G-forces. He didn't have his car under control as he came through the corner, and then he just lost it in a straight line. But luckily, plenty of room in the infield here at Winton, and cars not getting damaged by whacking into Armco.
Now, they're fortunate with the new revamped Winton, but as you can see, the grass here looks very green, and that is because it has rained here incessantly for the last month or so. Picking up Peter Bradbury, still your race leader, and sitting in second spot behind him is Wagg. Wagg coming up as they come down the back straight here into the right-hander. There's the gap, first back to second. Keane is back there, one spot behind them.
Yeah, not out of it by any stretch of the imagination. Keane has got the measure of these fellows. He's raced them just about every championship event for the Porsche Cup this year. So he's just playing his cards, his waiting game.
Well, they head down the back straight. There's Chris Stannard going through, number 4A, and just back behind him, 33. So they've had a great dice the last couple of laps. Winton is the sort of a place that you can afford to have a bit of an off. We'll take a look at the replay here as we get them off the line. This is Mike Kilpatrick's car, number 27. As Mike heads down on the right-hand side of the racetrack, that's the racing line for the first turn.
Yeah, he's okay at this stage. Placed all right. A few other people wide there on the left, but he's still in good shape. Keeping in here tight. Oh, cut off there a little bit,
Yes.
but still holding his position.
Peter Bolton, who spun a little earlier, he's been having some fun. Robert Skier there, that sitting right in behind him as they make the exit out of that turn. Uses a bit of the local terrain.
Does help to stay on the track. Tires like the tarmac.
Robert Skier there sitting right in behind Bolton as they go through that corner. Gee, that was a very wide approach to the turn. So after closing up on him the last lap, he's managed to lose out now. 27.
Smoking. Trouble with this one.
Yeah, that's Mike Kilpatrick.
Oh, really puffing badly.
Yes, I wouldn't think he'd stay out there too long. These are not the engines you want to let go.
Well, with no water to boil, when the oil starts cooking, you're in a lot of trouble, but he's backed off and he's coming in quietly. Hope he isn't putting too much liquid on the track for the rest of the competitors. She's got over tight to the left, so that's good sporting driving.
There's Simon Frood going through there on the inside. He's had a race-long battle here with Chris Stannard. Frood has been an ever-present in the series this year. He's always been up in the top 4.
Car's handling well. Just drifting it nicely through turn 1. Jab of the brakes to settle it for the second corner. Now a real big gun down this little straight. It's parallel with the start-finish straight. Flames coming out of number 4.
Yes, talking about flames and oil and everything else that has come out of Mike Kilpatrick's car. He shut it off in the pit area and is now, some of the officials, trying to check out exactly what the problem is. In the meantime, here's our race leader, Peter Bradbury, in the TNT number 14 machine. But right behind him, he's got Martin Wagg, and Wagg has been closing for the last 3 laps. Gets right up on the tail here of the TNT car out of the left-hander.
Plenty of steering on there, showing how well the rear of the car is gripping. He's had to put on that much turn to get through the corners. The rear tire is just gripping like crazy.
Well, the problem here is he was pocketed. Peter Bradbury just snuck up the inside there of Martin Wagg and has gone back through to take over the lead. Wagg, I thought, had the lead there for a moment or two, but with the laps running out, Peter Bradbury has got back in front again. 33 still going through Simon Fruit, so he's been able to get through
dirt.
Stannard. And Stannard loses the tail of it again, back through the infield.
Very delicate, just shows how they have to. He hardly had any steering on there, but just enough to catch him off guard. And now he's bogged in the infield. Fortunately, hasn't hit anything.
Well, Wake goes through, still tailing Bradbury as they go into the bottom corner. 88, that's Warwick Miller. He's done a 360 in there, an 88B machine. Checkered flag time. Bradbury is across the line, and he's going to lead Martin Wag. Wag thought he was going to win that one, and he gave it every try. Just didn't work out. Bradbury is too slick in the Pirelli Porsche Cup in 1999. Greg Keane across the line, finishes in third. There's your order. Bradbury, Wag, Keane, Bennett, Simon Fruit, Peter McRae, Matthew Stupas, Peter Bolton is next, Azim Sahu Khan, Rowan Ski, and Nate Agnew rounds out the top 10. Let's go down to Charles.
Mike, from the outside in that first race, it looked like a bushfire was going on. You're leaving so much smoke.
Yeah, well, luckily, I think for everyone, it was mainly getting on the exhaust pipes and not down on the track. Pretty lucky in a 911, the engine base sealed because it's air-cooled, and we all gathered up the top and dripped down, and it looked much worse than what it actually was. We only lost half a litre of oil in the end.
ROH Commodore Cup action. Wayne Wakefield and Christian Agustin battle for the first turn after sharing the front row. Tim Shaw started middle of the pack, and he couldn't get it right. He at least tried again as he came down the inside of David Marshall into the left-hander. Well, he was getting it at least a little better as he made the exit to that turn. Neville Haley in 98 and 85. Andrew McGuinness had trouble trying to find their way on the infield. But it didn't need a wake-up call for Wayne Wakefield. He was just too good. Race 2, and Christian Agustin got his nose in front of Wakefield, but another Tim Shaw wall was just unfolding. Greg Waters in 14 got a tap and was on his way to a brawl with the wall. Staying out of trouble was a problem for some. Mark Papendell lost his Gregory's and just couldn't find his way home. 21 cars started the contest, but when the dust settled, only Wayne Wakefield had the cash, a trophy and a straight car.